Behind me is the Prowler. This is $440 of alien-inspired dropship. I want to use this ship. I want to use this ship a lot. But whenever I get my friends together to go for a ride on this awesome dropship, they never bring their own weapons. This is Test Squadron after all. One guy comes in carrying a rocket launcher with no ammo. Another guy comes in carrying a Nerf gun. And another guy comes in carrying a hot dog. Yes, there's always the hot dog guy. What I want to do is pimp out this ship. I want to put in as many weapons as possible so when my friends come for a ride in this, they have the weapons they need. You'll also note that I'm wearing my favorite gold armor, and it also comes with my favorite sniper rifle at the back. The reason I am wearing this now is because there is currently a glitch or an intended mechanic in the game which allows you to replicate armor and weapons. Now, this is a dupe glitch. I don't think any of these items will make it through the next patch. It will very likely be deleted, but I do feel this is the start of at least of a way that subscriber flare and subscriber board items will be able to come back in the game, because when you're duping them, and I'll show you the system how it works, you're actually paying for it. The correct value of the item is actually charged to you. So without further ado, first let's take a look inside the Prowler, because I'll show you what I need. And let's take a nice slow walk into the back of the Prowler. If you haven't seen the Prowler before, I think it's one of the more interesting and definitely more unique ships in the game. I really hope they come out with some variants for this ship. So we have a lot of jump seats, as you can see. Well, let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus co-pilot 17. You can carry 17 of your friends along with you. Now the problem is, if you have the same kind of friends as I do, nobody brings good weapons, or they forget their ammo, or they forget something. So I want to load up these racks. See the racks right here with weapons. So I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I will need 16 weapons, but not just any weapons. In particular, I want the red Demeco rifles, and I want them with suppressors and a 3x scope on it. And how we're going to do this is by replicating one of them and then making 16 more. Ready? Let's go. First thing we're going to do is grab a ship to do this in. Now, the Prowler can do it. It just doesn't work well because you can't pull the weapons out the rack. I'll show you more a bit later. But what works best in my experience are the Drake ship, either the Drake Cutlass or the Cutter, which is actually awesome. For this particular, why do I have a Cutlass Steel? I don't know. We will use the Cutlass Steel for this, and let's pull it up.
You are clear to launch.
Alright, I'm out of armistice. Just jump out of the chair and get the weapon into the rack and head back down. Here's the weapon. This is what I'm going to be replicating. I'm going to stick it right over here. Place. There we go. Alright, we're almost there. Back in the seat. And smooth touchdown. Wasn't that good? We've landed. Weapon is in the rack. What we are going to do now is go store the ship. This is the critical part. Come back to the terminal, find the ship that you just landed in, and click on store. And it is stored. So here is the important part now. Pull up your Mobiglass. Go to the Vehicle Loadout Manager. Go to the ship that you had just stored. In our case, it is the Cutlass Steel. If this doesn't pop up for you, if it's slow, try spamming the letter F. It might make it work. What we're going to do now is go to Vehicle Weapons. we are just going to pick any random weapon, doesn't make a difference, or any item in the ship. In my case, I'm just going to use the Panther repeater, and I'm going to unequip it. All right, it's unequipped. Save it. The ship has been saved in the state. Now, as far as the game is concerned, it's taken a snapshot of the ship as it is. Now, I just want to put the Panther back on because I want it. So it's back on. I'm saving the ship in this state. As far as the game is concerned, this is how your ship will come to you if you recall it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. That was the most difficult part of this operation. From here on, it's pretty easy. Now, we want to call the ship back.
To the ASOP vehicle
but
retrieval system.
We are not going to do it from this station. We actually have to call it from a different station. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take an arrow and head down to the nearest location, which is Lorville. So here we are. I'm going to go to Hangar 3, grab my arrow, not the steel. The cutlass steel is still in storage. I'm grabbing the arrow and I'm going to take the arrow down to Lorville. We are back in Lorville, as you can see, and what I'm going to do now is spawn the Drake Steel over here. The game will remember that there is a weapon in the rack and it will spawn with it. There's one small issue, and that is we cannot look at the time. We cannot stop looking at the time. We cannot access the weapon. We can't pull it off the rack here for some reason, but we can pull it off the rack if we are back in Everest. So I'm going to spawn the ship here, fly it back up to Everest, and then we'll be able to pull the weapon out and then replicate it. And as you can see, the weapon is indeed there. There she is. But the best part is this. Now, I cannot for some reason actually access this weapon while I'm in Lorville. But if we're at a different station, you can actually pull it off the rack like so.
Incomplete. Have a pleasant stay.
Alright, we've landed back at Everest. Now, for the magic. Here's the weapon in the rack. I can grab it. Okay, grab the weapon. It's mine. Now, I will make it magically reappear. I go back into the seat. I sit down. Pull up your Mobi-Glass. Go to the Vehicle Maintenance Services. Click on that. You will see it'll give you the option to repair. Even though my ship is in perfect condition, there's something missing from the ship. What is missing? The gun, which costs 4,780 UECs. Click that. And it should be back in the rack, and now I have two of them. And something happened to the ship, it's glitched, but there we go. Alright, I have one on my back, which I just took, and I just got another one. Rinse and repeat this process. I'm going to fill up this rack with 4 of them, and then just replicate 4 at a time until I have enough to fill up the Prowler. Let's do it. What's this guy looking at? He's been here for like 3 hours doing this.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected.
Alright, we have all the weapons after a couple of minutes of doing that same glitch, and now the fun part of stocking every single weapons rack over here. We are pimping out this girl. Let's do it. Alright, the moment we've been waiting for. I've moved out of Armistice. I have 16 of the red Demecos in the inventory of the Prowler. Let's start loading them up. Damn, look at that. Look at that. It looks good. This is gonna be a bit of work. Let's do it. Where am I? Okay. Let's save that for sniper rifles. Let's start over here. First one's in. Oh, that's looking good. It's looking good. Come on, more. Final one. Oh, that's so good. Check it out. You know, I am one for style. The red Demeco, red interior of the Prowler. It's spectacular. Look at it. No longer will I have to berate those testes that come on board with a Nerf gun or a hot dog. Everyone will have access to a weapon. Now be aware, this will very, very likely be wiped in the next patch. You will lose all the weapons. I don't think this is an intended mechanic in the way that we're doing it right now. It's impossible that we can just replicate as many weapons as we want, even though they are charging us for it. I do feel they might likely keep this mechanic, but maybe limit how many weapons you can actually replicate. Can I do one? Can I do two at a time? Maybe, but not what you see here. But in the meantime, why don't you subscribe to this channel and follow, because we are going to round up 16 of my favorite testes and go and get involved in some shenanigans. Let's find some bunkers, let's find some PvP, and put these weapons to good use. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this very exciting episode of how to pimp out your Prowler with red Demecos. Use in good health. And just be aware, there will likely patch us up in some form. I don't see this being the final form of this mechanic, but enjoy it while you can, because it will be wiped, and hopefully it will not go away, because I do enjoy wearing my armor and using my favorite weapons. Let me know what you think. Comments below, appreciate it. If you've spoken to a dev and they have said something about this, let me know. I'm curious to know what their thoughts are about it. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, this will be the thumbnail. That's perfect.